If you're moving to Davenport, Iowa in 2025, this is the video you need to watch because we're going to show you every nook and cranny of Davenport and show you where all the shopping centers are, the schools, the restaurants, everything that you need to know when it comes to Davenport. We're going to show you all of that, and we're going to get started right now. So what you are looking at right now is the map of Davenport. So let's get a lay of the land and show you exactly what we're looking at. So Davenport is laid out by these outlines here. I'll get rid of this, and you can see it just goes all the way around, bordered basically by I-74, I-80, I-280, and of course the Mississippi River down here. But if you're moving here, what should you be looking at? Well, one of the big questions that I get all the time is what schools are in Davenport. So let's dive in, show you where those are just to begin off our tour. Let's start up north. Where is Davenport North? Well, Davenport North is north of town. So where exactly? Well, it is right here. It is just north of 53rd Street, not too far away from Brady and Harrison Street. And if you're not familiar with Davenport, Brady and Harrison Street are one of the more traveled streets that go into downtown. And by the way, they are one-way streets going one way. Downtown is Harrison, out of downtown is Brady, but they do merge right here. And Davenport North High School is located just west of there. Now, in Davenport, there are really three major school systems with maybe a fourth in there. But the three is Davenport North, which we were just looking at, and the other two is Davenport Central and Davenport West. Davenport Central is actually really close to downtown. It is located just south of Vanderveer Park, which we're going to touch on a little bit later. But Vanderveer Park is in between Harrison and Brady, and so is Central High School. Central High School is located right here. It is one of the older buildings as far as the schools go. If you look at it from a photo standpoint, you can see it is one of the older buildings, which makes sense because when you're looking at the map of Davenport, we're going all crazy here. If you're looking at the map of Davenport, you got to think of the history of Davenport. Where was Davenport really started? It was started along the river because that's where all the commerce happened. So it goes to show that anything that's closer to the river typically is going to be the older part of town, and that is included with Central High School as well. It's close to downtown and it's close to the river, so it's going to be your oldest building, and they just haven't updated it and built something new, which is fine. But just keep that in mind if you're going to be looking at that as a school. So I told you there is three major ones with maybe a fourth in there, but the three major, again, North, Central, and West. So where is West Davenport or West Davenport High School? It is west of town. And if we go and look here, it is located right close to the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds, which, by the way, you're in town during the summer, the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds has a great fair. But even more for me, I actually just went over there for the Christmas lights that they did. It's a drive-through Christmas light display. It was the first year that they did it, and they really are having a great turnout for that. So I think they're going to be doing it again next year. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Davenport West, which is located right here, and it is off of Locust and Fairmont. If you drive by it, it is no mistaking. It is a big high school. It looks like it's a newer one compared to Central and North, but it is located over here. Now that we covered the schools, that's not the only thing that you're going to be looking at when you're moving here. You're probably curious, okay, I know where the schools are. Where can I do my everyday shopping? And it's important to know that because if you're going to be purchasing a home in Davenport, you really want to know the proximity of where those things are. And there's a few different shopping areas, okay? The first and biggest one, and honestly probably the biggest one in the whole Quad Cities, is located off of Elmore. And Elmore, if we zoom in, it's north of town. You see it curves around here and then goes down through here. Starting in North Elmore, you have places like Walmart, you have, the Davenport Commons, and then Burger King, which that's just in the parking lot of Walmart. But then we get into places over here where there's a car dealership. The Target is located here, PetSmart, Staples, Party City, which I don't know why. 53rd Street is a very well-traveled road, especially in my family. And for some reason, Party City's lights, like on the outside of their building, it always seems to be one missing. Like it either says PRTY or no P or whatever. So I don't know. Party City needs to get their stuff together because their lights always seem to be a little bit out and wonky. Maybe it's just ours, maybe it's Party City in general, but I do notice that. But regardless, this is a big shopping center. You have Chick-fil-A. Just a little bit to the west is Costco, which honestly it's a newer thing in the Quad Cities. It's not brand new anymore. It's probably been here maybe 5 years, I would guess. So big deal when it comes to that. And if you keep going south on Elmore, you get more stuff like Best Buy. You have Furniture Row. You keep going, you have places like Elmore Marketplace and Lowe's. And then down here, Sam's Club. So if you're not a Costco person, you have the option for Sam's Club. But it's just really this Elmore corridor where you have a ton of different shopping. And honestly, guys, when I'm talking about shopping, I actually put together a relocation guide where I cover this and many other things for different cities. And it's actually 41 pages. I've built this channel to showcase everything I know about the Quad Cities, and I figured I would put it in a book form. So if you're interested in seeing what that is about, there's a link down in the comments or down in the description, where you could actually get that relocation guide. So let me know if that's something you want to see, because it is done fresh off the press. And we do have things like this where we talk about shopping centers, entertainment, places to be, neighborhoods to go to. I think you'd really like it. But this is not the only place for shopping. That's probably the biggest, but it's not the only place. If we go to basically central area, you have places like North Park Mall, which North Park Mall is kind of okay. It's not like the malls of the 80s and the 90s anymore, although this mall has been there since then. But you go in there, it seems a little bit depleted in stores, but it's still an active mall. People still enjoy going there, still enjoy shopping there. Even if it isn't at its heyday, it's still available. And you do have other things that are around it. You have our Hooters is right there. So if that's important to you, maybe this would be a shopping center that you'd like to be at. That's one of the major ones, but also if we go down here, we actually have another Walmart and everything that is built up around the Walmart. Now, the thing that's new out in this shopping center, and I don't know, it does show up, is our brand new Aldi. This got put up within the last year, and people in this area really, really like that because it's a little bit more of affordable food in general, speaking terms, and people like it. So really, those are your major areas for shopping. But if you're just looking kind of like boutique type stuff, well, Village of East Davenport is going to be a cool place for that. There's a lot of cool mom and pop shops that people really like to go to. I just got my wife a Christmas gift down there. There's a little shop down there. It's a tea bar, I guess is what you call it. I'm not into tea. My wife is, but it's a tea bar and a yoga studio. It's located here in the village, right off of here, and it's called Sunlight Yoga. So they have no idea I'm putting this in the video, but I did get my wife's Christmas present there, and hopefully this is coming out after Christmas, so she won't see it. But I love going to the village. The area next to the village is called McClellan Heights. That's one of the neighborhoods that people really like. It's very it's old architecture and everything is really well kept. So people really like looking in McClellan Heights if you like old architecture type stuff. But if you're still looking for other places to shop, you also have downtown Davenport. Now, downtown Davenport is the biggest downtown in the Quad Cities. There is a lot of shopping. There's a lot of bars and restaurants. Some of my favorite are Meat and Billy. I love going there. It's kind of a upscale casual place, which makes no sense. Kind of an oxymoron with that. But you can go in there wearing, sweatpants and feel perfectly comfortable. But you could also go in there wearing a full suit, and you would not seem out of place. And I really like that of me and Billy, and their food is really, really good. Another place is Analog Arcade Bar. It's a bar that you can play games in, kind of like a Dave & Buster's, but local. They have 2 locations. One is downtown Davenport. The other one is downtown Moline. So pretty popular. And of course, my absolute favorite place to eat is Mantra. It's kind of a hole in the wall, but it's an Indian restaurant, and I absolutely love it. In fact, my wedding rehearsal dinner was in Mantra because we just love it that much. Me and my wife go out to eat very rarely, but Mantra is one of those ones that we go to more often than we probably should, to be quite honest. But that is all in downtown Davenport. In downtown Davenport is one of the main hubs for entertainment as well, which is a good segue into our next topic, which is entertainment. If you're moving here and you're not somebody that just sits at home and you want to get out, you're going to want to look into downtown Davenport because there's a lot of things that happen, especially along the riverfront. Now, the riverfront has LeClaire Park, which I've made videos in before. Maybe we'll try to show you some B-roll of that, but is a big green area where they do have a band shell, and they hold festivals down there. They hold the Quad Cities Pops concert down there. So it's just a place that people can gather and do a lot of cool things. Modern Woodman Park, which has been named one of the best, beautiful parks in the minor league system. It is our baseball stadium. And look at the photos. You can just see how pretty that is. You're looking out over the river. You got the bridge in the background. It just makes for a really cool atmosphere. And during the summer as well, the Freight House Farmers Market is held here, which I've made plenty of videos. I've done interviews down there. I've done really a lot of stuff with the farmers market just because I enjoy it that much. It's a great way to get out to the community and see what's going on. So all of that is held down there, along with Bix and the parades, Macy's Style Parade, which is the Festival of Trees. We just have a lot that happens down there. But that's not all. I also really enjoy Davenport when it comes to the park system. Now, all of these little green areas, for the most part, are different parks. Sometimes there's a cemetery, which is this one. I don't think you necessarily want to hang out in the cemetery, but you can just see how many different parks. So I'm not going to cover them all. I'm going to cover my 2 favorite, and that is something I talked about earlier, which was Vanderveer Park. I absolutely love Vanderveer Park. They have the conservatory there, which is absolutely gorgeous, and even better during the Christmas time because they decorate all of this very, very beautifully. And it's just one of the best parks, I think. And I made a video about this before, and one of my comments mentioned that it was modeled after the New York Central Park. Don't know if that's true, but if it is, I can see where that was used as inspiration because it's really, really neat. The other park that I really, really like is Sunderbrook Park, which is here in West Davenport. The reason I like it is actually it doesn't really feel like a park per se, like a city park, I guess. You go out there, you have all these trails, and it's filled with trees. You just get out. It feels like you're out in the country, away from the city. And I just really like that atmosphere that it provides. So I really, really like that about Sunderbrook. And then Westlake, which technically is not in the city, but kind of part of the city. This is an area that is really out in the wilderness, but it's still surrounded by neighborhoods. So it's something to think about as a possibility if you're going to be doing any kind of recreation. But that is a really fast overview of what Davenport looks like. Now, we could get into more of the neighborhoods, but for today, that is all we're going to cover. And if you're moving to Davenport and you want to know about specific neighborhoods and how they relate to some of these amenities, you're going to want to give me a call. My number is popping up down below. I am the one that answers all those phone calls, emails, and text messages, and I would love to help you out. But if you're looking to move here and you're curious what Davenport looks like, well, check out this video here where we go over the entire city and what it looks like from a ground perspective.